Anantan, Namo Siddhaya, Namo Ayoridhyam, Namo Vasyaya, Namo Kudove Sarva Savana, Eho Pancha Naukaya, Sarva Bhavapanasam, Mangalam Sarvesim, Paramam Havai Mangala, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Jai Sachidananda. Om Sahajananda Sahanao Bhunaktu Sahaviriyam Karavavahe Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavare. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Thank you, everyone. Good morning again. And in the vast ocean of life, each of us navigates through waves of doubt, storms of desire, and fogs of ignorance. We search for direction, we search for meaning, and we search for show. We are all sailors, aren't we? Focusing on that very journey, this seminar is themed as Sailing Towards the Lighthouse. The lighthouse does not calm the sea, does not silence the storm, but it stands fire, a beacon of unwavering light, guiding ships safely to home. In this seminar, two of our lighthouse coming from very land of Gujarat, Dada Bhagwan and Sri Sahajananda, Swami Sahajananda, Dada gave the Akram Vigyan, the stepless path to self-realization. He showed us that the lighthouse is already within us, the pure self, the ever-shining, untouched by the turbulent water of the mind and ego. Swami Sahajananda, the torchbearer of Swami Narayan tradition, is illuminated the path of devotion, discipline, and selfless service. His life teaches us the sailing towards the light means aligning every actions with dharma and compassion. So over here, these 2 days, we are not just to discuss the philosophy, but also to learn from these two great beacons how to navigate our own lives with clarity, courage, and inner peace. With that thought, let's begin with our very first inaugural session by Professor Mishra. Professor Godabarish Mishra is a distinguished scholar of Indian philosophy, Advaita Vedanta, Buddhism, and Sanskrit. Serving as a professor at Nalanda University since 2022, his association with HSRC isn't new. He has contributed significantly in understanding Dada's science. And now I invite and request him to begin the seminar. Professor Mishra.
Saipriya, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Am I to start?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Okay. So I'll just speak for 2 minutes, not more than that.
Okay, sir.
Respected Lalabhai and also esteemed audience online, Chandrakant Bhai, Lakshmi Ben, my dear students, those who have gone for doing intern, it is a great occasion for you to know about the great tradition of Dada Bhagwan, along with the contribution, massive contribution that has been made by Swami Sahajananda. One thing that I would like to present before you is that both of them are the uncomparable, illustrious stars in the firmament of Indian religiosity. Both have contributed their might for the growth of Indian tradition, a tradition which has come down for more than 5,000 years. And as you see in this, the 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 the, the poster, that slide that has been shown, a beautiful verse from the Gita, which speaks about the whole ideal of karma and how it is scientific and how its science needs to be understood, and understood not just like that, but with some amount of exercise, some amount of involvement. That is what is the philosophies both of them are bringing before us. And the verse goes as it is written here: Karmano hyapi bodhavyam, bodhavyam cha vikarmanaha, akarmanascha bodhavyam, gahana karmano gatihi. I was thinking, I'm thankful to Dandrakant Bhai for thinking of this verse. Such a great verse. I'll be speaking about this, associating Dada Bhagwan and Swami Sahajananda tomorrow at about uh, in the last session where I'm scheduled. Today, I just want to congratulate my student for being a part of these two traditions, which are not so well known around the country to everybody, those who do philosophy. And it is high time that these two traditions must come to the forefront of Indian religiosity, which is what we are trying to do. And, I always think, what would have happened? Many people may say, what did Shankara do? What did Buddha do? What did this man do? What did Mahavira do? We should not think in that way. We should think, what would have happened if they were not there? What would have happened to the world if Jesus is not there? Like, they have taught us the lessons to live the life, to make the man human. And in this direction, the contribution made by both Swami Sahajananda and Dada Bhagwan cannot be gainsaid, cannot be adequately presented. However much you work, you will find there is still more to work. And today, the Lalabhai has taken a very great topic for this seminar, that is decoding the science of karma. I must say one thing, that if you look into the life of Dada Bhagwan, you see that every person, human person, has an ability to do philosophy. But few, because of their karma, are fortunate enough to bring the inner voice to reach the humanity at large, speak about the future in the situation where they are situated. And that is how both Swamiji, imagine both of them, think about them, how much, what type of contribution they have made. I doubt whether, I always tell Dada Lalabhai that every point that Dada Bhagwan is addressing has something very deep philosophical implication which can only be understood if you go through and practice his dhyana. On dhyana, how much he has spoken. Like, I won't say that he has spoken a lot, but whatever he has spoken needs to be researched out, and that is why I thought our students must get involved in these traditions. And I'm happy that Lalabhai has been generous enough to admit our students there, and also Swamiji, Swami Kothari Swamiji from Bartal has been very generous, very kind to accept him. I always see him as a person who is who is having two things together, Swami from Bartal. One is Daya, Karuna, another is Jnana. Both. Whenever I talk to Swamiji, I find that there is something that he wants to convey in a new way. Last two times I was talking that how Swamiji has come to teach the mankind. Swami Sahajananda has come to teach mankind only one thing, how to live life meaningfully. And how do you live life meaningfully? By doing Panchamahayagya. If Panchamahayagya is done, the humanity will live at peace, harmony, togetherness will come. And that is echoed after almost more than 100 years by by Dadaji in his words. But Swami Sahajananda is bringing a old philosophical tradition with a new nomenclature, new diction, and Dada Bhagwan is bringing his philosophy with by bringing together many traditions. One of the major contribution of Dada Bhagwan is that he is trying to see amity between traditions which people fail to see. It requires a big different drishti, which Buddha talks about drishti, Mahavira talks about drishti, Shankara talks about drishti, Upanishads talk about drishti. That drishti is echoed, reflected in the writings of Dada Bhagwan. And today we are here to work on a very small, tiny segment, portion, point that Dada Bhagwan has illuminated so brilliantly, so beautifully. Tomorrow I'll be speaking about that. I don't want to take much of your time. With these words, I thank Lalabhai. My grateful thanks are due to Basant Bhai for being generous to give us this opportunity to talk about Dadaji. And I must say, I am so inspired by both these sadhus who have contributed their lot for the cause of humanity. And that is in that direction, I must say all my students and all of you, those who are here, that we have taken a project on the modern masters, spiritual masters, which is led by Lalabhai. I am also a nimitta there. One volume has come, first volume, next volume is on the way, and we will be working in this direction. And I invoke the grace of Swami Sahajananda and Dada Bhagwan to help us in this direction to make their teachings available to the world at large. With these words, I again thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak a few words. Namaste, Jai Sachidanand. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your kind and wisdom words. We really look forward to listen from you tomorrow. And with continuing today's session, it's my absolute honor to invite our very first speaker, Shri Lalabhai Patel, Vice President of Academic and Research at Holistic Science Research Center. Retired from a highly distinguished career with the State Bank of India, where with an MBA in HRM, he successfully trained over 50,000 employees. Today, as a relentless researcher of Dada Bhagwan's spiritual science, he has been a guiding force as an editor for over 100 HSRC publications across 3 languages, and is visionary behind the structured educational program like certificate course in holistic life and living. He is widely celebrated as an exceptional orator and effective counselor. He is known for his remarkable ability to explain complex spiritual concepts in simple, accessible language. Please welcome our guide and mentor, Shri Lalabhai Patel. Sir.
Thank you, Mishra sir, and everybody who has joined offline and online this course. Mishra sir is our friend, philosopher, and guide. We are from the non-philosophical field. We don't know how to present and bring this to the world of philosophy, but we consider it our great fortune to have Dr. Mishra, having associated with HSRC for more than a decade now, and is now associating the young scholars with HSRC with our pleasure. And as we are not having the philosophical lexicons and terminology, but that was the specialty of Dada Bhagwan also. And he himself was an enlightened being, and like all enlightened beings, he has presented the knowledge in their own language, terminology. Right? So this way, we are beginning with the first session, and this sloka which is appearing on the screen, Bhagavad Gita sloka, which just now Dr. MISHRAJI quoted. I like this very much. And the last three words, okay, Gahana Karmapati. Who says this? Lord Krishna himself says that to comprehend the karma is so deep. So I cannot assure you that by attending this session also, we can fully comprehend. Because when Lord himself says that to comprehending the karma and its operation is so deep and profound, but no doubt, Lord, like Krishna and Dada Bhagwan himself was self-realized. So what he realized in his gnosis, jnana, that he has explained when he was asked. For those who are new to the philosophy of Dada Bhagwan, let me briefly introduce him. He is the recent enlightened being. And Dr. Mishra explained me now number of times that there is a need to introduce recent enlightened beings to the world. Generally, after so many years, people start studying about them. So, yeah, just less than 40 years before, he was already there on this earth, talking, explaining, discussing. Before him, Srimad Rajchandraji was there another 60, 70, 80 years ago. Swami Sahajananda 200 years before. And I consider this seminar as an opportunity for me to repay my debt to Swami Sahajananda also, because of his guidance to the Swaminarayan Sampradaya. They are educating so many students, and I was one of them who studied in Swaminarayan Gurukul for 2 years and had an opportunity to study the basic concepts of his teachings. So with this, now let us move to the topic, science of karma. Now, Dada's teachings are considered and presented as science, right? And this has come, and this has been put forward by one of our founder of HSRC, Dr. P. Radhakrishnan, who himself was a scientist at National Laboratory in Oak Ridge, USA. When he met Dada Bhagwan in 1982 and talked to him, he said, Dadaji, your teachings are scientific, consistent, clear, and replicable understanding. So this should be presented to the world, not as a religion or some theories, right? Or a hypothesis, but as a science which people can understand and replicate and try for themselves in their life and living. So in that context, we are using this word. I remember an incident when somebody asked to Dada Bhagwan, why you are calling science? Okay, science is only for physical thing. And you call it Akram science, stepless. All sciences are step by step. So that is a contradiction. We said this science is inner science. And that is why we are using it, the word as a science, and you can explore yourself, you can experiment on yourself. Right. So this is how is there in this session, we will be discussing about this science of karma. As I told you, Dada Bhagwan never wrote a book. He never gave a lecture, you may be surprised. He only replied if somebody asks. That was a unique system, but that attracted many thinkers because, as all of us know, in most of the philosophies and especially religious lectures, questions are not encouraged. Here, there was a person who would never speak without asking. So this is how it attracted many thinkers, many philosophical scholars also, many devotees from diverse background, various religions, sampradayas, everything. And that helped a collection of so much of information, which later on and sometimes during his presence also classified topic-wise, published in various books and booklets. And still many of the things are yet to be published, especially correlation of different topics. Because in general discussion, these were not a topic-wise discussion. Somebody asks X topic, somebody will ask Y topic. Like that it will happen. This way this was going on. But here recently we have compiled this book because at HSRC we observed that the karma word has been absorbed in English language also. Right? Since last nearly 20 years, people talk of karma, they refer it. Okay. So people are interested to know what is karma. Out of India also. Generally, the karma applies when somebody believes in rebirth. But because life's problems and intricacies cannot be fully comprehended without inputting this hypothesis, if you say, of karma or rebirth, it is impossible to comprehend the life and living. And these inconsistencies which apparently we see in the life. So this way, we thought of publishing this book, and I'm happy that a book on science of karma has been published in 3 languages just last 3 months. Gujarati, followed by Hindi, followed by English, and we'll be sharing this through the email, all these 3 books. So don't worry. Now let us, so this presentation is in a view, in a way it is a presentation about the contents of that book, right? So let us. So, karma implies bondage. Now, Dada Bhagwan says that neither the pure self nor the physical body acts independently. Karma binds exclusively when the ego steps in and falsely claims, I am the doer. Because this is very important concept. Wherever the soul has been referred in various philosophies, it has been referred as akarta, non-doer. Now, when the soul itself is non-doer as agreed by everybody, all Upanishads and Vedas and everywhere, Bhagavad Gita, still we say there is a theory of karma. So who binds the karma? If so, doer must bind the karma. Soul is non-doer. That means, so Dada Bhagwan explains that soul is not the soul, but is the ego. Ego of doership that binds the karma. Right? Neither the physical body binds the karma. Right? Physical body also, that is a physical body. It doesn't have the power to bind. So this is in between something that binds the karma. This is one as a core of the philosophy propounded and explained by Dada Bhagwan. We'll go into it gradually. This is one thing he explains. Generally, karma is interpreted as an action. And this is where Dada Bhagwan is unique in explaining this concept. He says visible action is not the karma, not the karmic seed. Right? So he explains three stages instead of two stages as it is generally believed and referred and understood by the people that I do X thing and I get Y fruit. So Dada Bhagwan says, no, there are three stages. So you bind the karma, which is a subtle thing, invisible. And the action, the visible action, is a result of that karma. And the third stage is the fruit of that karma, that act, outcome of that action. So instead of two stages, Dada Bhagwan says there are three stages. And this is where his philosophy is unique and it solves so many inconsistencies. And it solves so many issues of understanding and helps us where our domain is there, whereas we don't have a control over the things. Right? So, like he says, like a tip of the iceberg, gross karma is the external action. Okay? Like he gives any action, I say donating, charity, this, that. A famous example I would quote. He's given, as you know, he was not a philosopher traditionally. His examples are all routine, day-to-day life examples. So he says, somebody is fond of eating in a restaurant. Okay, a college boy. After some years, say around 35, 40, he develops a dysentery, chronic dysentery. And number of times he suffers this in a year. People say because you are eating in hotel outside food, this is a phala, okay, result of your karma of eating it. Dada says, but according to what we have discussed so far, eating in restaurant is not a karma. It is a phala. Result of the karma of his past intentions of supporting that, believing that eating outside food is nothing wrong. It is good, rather better. Because of this kind of belief, in this birth, he is attracted toward the restaurant and outside food. And the third, the dysentery, is the outcome of that action. Right? So these are the three stages he's explaining. With small thinking, this can be very well understood, but this is some way unique thing which he is explaining in it. Right. So subtle karma is what is under the iceberg and which is not known also. So he says it is the human being. He agrees. All the seers, they will see the truth like that only. Right. In these presentations, also you'll find he has not said everything totally deep. He has added certain things which we are not knowing so far. So, like every great Indian seers, he says that human birth is where a person, jiva, binds the karma. All other life, maybe celestial, animal, plants, or even hell, they are not the places where a jiva binds the karma. But in the human life, he also unwinds the karma as well as binds the karma. And there, the scope for intervention of knowledge comes, understanding comes, satsang, okay, scriptural studies, everything that role, because he has the freedom, right? So this is how. And that is why in animal, hell, celestial being, no karmic, new karmas are not found. Right? Now, to make it further understand, he gives an example of, say, ball. Rubber ball, if it is pasted with mud, sticky mud, and put in the sea, not float, it will drown. Like that, the karma particles stick to the soul, and there is a downward motion. So, downward gati, we can say, maybe heavy physical, right? So, the four kashaya, anger, pride, deceit, greed, they push the soul downwards, while the compassion and other good things which we say, they lift the soul. This way, in the universe, the soul moves up and down, like that. Inherently, he also says that the soul is inherently upward moving. So, with the reduction of karmic weightage, the soul has the propensity to move upwards only gradually, right? Here, he gives a very simple example. The beauty about Dada Bhagwan teaching is many of his examples are real life situations which he has seen, observed, experienced himself. So, being a contractor, he had occasions to bribe the people. No, people would bribe, ask bribes from him. So, he gives this example. He says, if there are people, say, in say some office, government office, there are some people who prefer taking bribe. And there are some exceptional people who say, no, no bribe. Now, the person not taking bribe, they are less number, sometimes exceptional in many offices. Not every office is like that. Certain offices, this kind of, it has become a culture. So somebody say he doesn't take bribe. He has decided. So what is his gross action? Refusing the bribe. Right. Now gradually as he lives in the same environment, his other colleagues grow richer. And this fellow remains the same. And his family members come to know that we are seemingly poorer as compared to our juniors sometimes or colleagues. So they put on direct, indirect pressure that you are the only person who have remained in the same, we are staying in a rented house while other people or they are same cadre or junior cadre, they are having their bungalows, etc. They continue pinching continues. So this fellow, although he was right, but over a period of time, he thinks, oh, am I doing right or not? Whether I'm wrong in not taking bribes. Right. So gradually, due to pressure of circumstances, he develops a feeling that there is nothing wrong in taking bribes in this Kali Yuga, for example. Now the change in the belief, Dada says his core belief of past birth is that taking bribe is wrong. So his all body, mind, everything has been charged like this. So in this birth, he will, even if he want, he will not take the bribe. Even after taking bribe, immediately he will return. He will tremble, he says. Right? But what has said inside? Nothing wrong in taking bribe. So Dada says, next birth, this fellow will become taking a bribe. So his outward behavior is wonderful, good, but inner things. So Dada says one has to pay attention to the inner resource, which are invisible. Only the fellow himself knows. The nature's justice and where the human future development, man is the maker of his future, no? This is a very simple example. He explained this. Let me tell you, one person met me, he was working in railway department. He told me that I took bribe from Dada Bhagwan. Okay. Later on, he became a disciple. Okay. A bribe of 2 rupees, he said, I took him from him for clearing a check. Okay. Just, okay. But so we come to generally in the world, we think action is the karma. We only see and we also judge the people accordingly. There is no other, right? So we believe, and the world also believes, the karma is bound by physical actions. And we say good deed is good karma. But good deeds, good karma, right. But good actions and the reaction is good. Okay. Like if you are not eating outside, you are healthy. Eating outside, you will be less healthy. So this way, good actions build good reactions. That's true. But they are not the karma. Actions are not the karma. Right? But we have already seen. But apparently, okay, we can say good thing, good actions, and good outcomes. But ultimately, root thing is different. The scientific reality, Dada Bhavan, it is your intent, bhav. Bhav is the right word. I don't have some other word finding, so we call it intent. But bhav, every Indian understand what is bhav. Right? So that is where the karma is born. Right? So karma is entirely blind to physical action. It is bound exclusively by inner intent and contemplation at the precise moment of the action. You may be knowing that while doing any action, we have some intent, either supporting that action or uh, against that action, our own action. Sometimes we disagree with our own action. We disagree with our own thoughts. We disagree with our own speech. I should not have spoken like this. Right? So that is the level. That is the point. We call it a charging point. Dada uses this word as a colloquial word, charge. With mobiles, everybody knows charging and discharging. So like there is charging of karma, discharging of karma, those will let us be acquainted with this terminology. So, the nature does not look at what your body does. It records what your ego believes it is doing. Right? And where does it record? Within yourself. Right? That Vyashti and Samashti. That will come to later. So, like good things also is again example. Like we took a example of not so good things of a bribe. He gives a good thing, good example also. That somebody is donating, right? Somebody is asked to give a donation, charity. Now the fellow who gives, he doesn't want to give, but because XYZ, so and so mayor or some MLA or somebody has come and he can't say no, he has to donate, right? Somebody from his in-laws have come and asked donation. So this fellow, even though he doesn't believe in donating this, he has to do that. But how does he donate? Unwillingly, less willingly, sometimes the unwillingly. Okay, so Dada says he donates. The physical action is donating. He will get the receipt. It is the donation, letter of thanks. People will say, good, you have done a good thing. His nameplate will be also there somewhere if it is a provision. But what has he charged? I should not have donated. Right? So, outward outcome of his physical action are people say he is a good person. He is a donor. He gets a receipt. He gets a TG connection, this deduction, everything. But what he charged, I should not have given. This kind of karma charge that later in the next life, he won't be able to donate. Right? And you may find this kind of examples in real life where there are people, you sometimes wonder, he is such a rich fellow, why doesn't he donate? Many people criticize. There is nothing to criticize because he has charged such a karma in past birth not to give away money. Right? And there are people who are middle class and they are able to donate. Right? So this is one thing. And now one day, another side, another example he gives, which is very, very relevant. He says somebody doing bad things, like a hunter, and he feels I am doing something wrong. Like that fellow donor feels I am doing something wrong by donating. Here this fellow by doing something wrong, like hunting, he feels, oh, this is bad. So his visible action is violence. But inside what he says, there is a remorse. Right? So, oh, I am really compelled to do, I should not have done this. Many people you will find there are, because of their sanskaras, good sanskar, right? You will find this. So, Dada says, although his gross action is bad, he is being uplifted. Because if later on he'll get such circumstances where he would not have to do violence. So this is something, and how we say that we should not have raga dvesha. But how we cannot have raga dvesha? Simply by deciding not to have raga dvesha, we cannot have it. Because we judge the people, Bhaskar, by action, no? So we see good actions, we feel rag. We see bad action, we feel dvesh. And coming out of that, that is this spiritual elevation. How can you come out? Knowing this helps us to come out or uproot those ragas. Okay. So don't go by face value. That is what I said. Okay. હવે જરા મને બતાવ દે શું થયું પાછું. Yes. Right. So, illusion of worship. So the root of the roots is the belief, the hadhyas. God has time and again also said in Vedanta and everywhere, okay, I am this body self and Lalabhai. At the fundamental, okay, and because I think I am this body self, it follows that I did this. Who else has that? The root cause is this, he says. Okay. And that is Dada, Bhagwan says that is ego. Pride is not ego, but the real ego. Ego of the ego, inner ego, is Dehadyas, believing oneself to be body self. Right? And that is the right, real cause of binding the karma. So it is the ego that binds, that attracts the karma, not the soul. Right? So bondage is not created by the action itself, but by the claim of ownership over the action. That I did it, or he did it. Right? Then this, like that. So, karta bhava. That is how the karmas get attracted continuously while the person is discharging old karma. There also he says, I did this. Right? He did this. Karomi, karosi, karoti. Right? So that is the root cause. Right? This we have discussed. Neither the body can bind the karma, nor the soul can bind it. So this in-between entity which surfaces, that is the core cause. Right? Now he gives an example of dam. You know, there is a very big dam, Sardar Sarovar. So he said, before building any big dam, lot of discussion about planning and blueprints and all these things are first. That is a Ayojan, planning stage. Everybody plans. Right? Everybody continues to plan. Continuously revising the plans inside. Right? So that is where inner planning occurs in the previous birth. This birth also, inner planning continues. You can erase and redraw blueprints endlessly, because that is happening inside. So long as you are living, you can revise your planning. Okay. Even you can tear down the plan. Dada says if you tear down the plan of a big dam, there won't be flood. Because it is only on the blueprint. Right? But once it has been constructed, that is the outcome. That is the physical manifestation. So that there are two stages, planning and prarabdha. Okay. The prarabdha is the physical manifestation. Now he says, please pardon me, Dada gave this kind of rudimentary examples. Very easy to understand, but far from the philosophy terminology. Right? But for lay people like me and all others who met him, this is how we could understand. Right? So he says there is a system of 3 batteries in everyone: mind, speech, and body. So that visible thing, these are the, he says, these are the visible discharging batteries. I am speaking at present. That is discharging of my speech battery. Right? Body, my bodily actions, discharging of bodily battery. Mind continuously discharging. Mind doesn't ask your orders to function. It functions on its own. Your thoughts and everything goes on. Okay? It is involuntary. And if you look slightly deeper, you'll find all these 3 things, mind, speech, and body, they are involuntarily functioning. Only by sometimes we assume that, oh, I did this. It is not so. Right? So, they are charged in your past life. And in current life, they are merely discharging. So, there are continuously 2 stages. Your 3 batteries discharging and the 3 batteries charging. And those charged batteries, which form a part of your causal body, they move along the soul while transmigrating to the next life. And that causal body becomes the functional body next birth. Right? So, all current batteries drain, the ego observes, reacts, claims ownership, and again new charging takes place. This continuous process. So, as long as there is a doership, the circuit remains closed. Closed means continues. The circuit, the process of charge, discharge continues. Now, how the karma phala delivery is taking place? Let us see how Dada explains this. This karmic charging and discharging no doubt takes place. Especially charging takes place at our personal level, ego level. But the outcome of karmic charging, there is a system of Vyavasthit Shakti. It is, Dada names it as Vyavasthit Shakti. Sometimes we translate it as natural order, but he was using this word scientific circumstantial evidence, because this can be understood by slightly more thinking, that our charging of karma takes place, but to have a discharge or outcome of that karma, some system, worldwide system existence is necessary. Like an echo. You can't create your ego unless there is an outside environment suitable to reflect your ego. Right? So this universe, there is a power, impartial power, other names is scientific circumstantial evidence for your fruits of your karma. Right? And there are some natural laws. Natural order is also there. Okay, you may charge any kind of karma, but still next birth you will have only 2 eyes, or at the most 1, but not 3. Okay, 2 years, not 3 years. Okay, so there are natural regulations, we can call it regulations. Right. Within that frame of natural regulations, timing, etc., will go later on. The outcome of karma phala takes place. Right. So this is how the third factor. One is a charging, discharging, and third is operating energy, operating power called Vyavasthit Shakti. The other names it scientific. First is a systematic, circumstantial need for the different circumstances and evidence that meeting together of multiple factors. Then that visible event takes place. So this is another concept in Dada Bhagwan's philosophy of scientific circumstantial evidence, which we names as Vyavasthit Shakti, natural order, and my seniors like other philosophers like Mr. They explain that there is some concept like Rit in Vedas also, which I don't know much about it, but they say there is such concept also in the Veda, right? Now, so to explain the further, he said there are in human being is a Vyashti and Samasti. That concept is there in philosophy and religious literature also. So he says individual computer and universal computer. That is the Samasti. All our intents and vows, okay, go in the universal computer and the outcome comes in accordance with not only your desire, not only your karma, but the way of giving the outcome of karma is governed by the nature's laws, systems, timings, everything. So many factors which are known and many are unknown. And their outcome doesn't require your permission. Once it is gone, that outcome will be on its own. Right? At the stage of outcome, we have already learned that your volition is not there. Right? So, this is the system. The system is flawless first. Pain is simply the delivery of your own uploaded data by the hands of an instrumental cause nimitta. So this there now this another concept comes of nimitta. Delivery of karma, okay, is through various nimitta. But nimit is triggered to deliver your karma because the main input is our karma. Here comes Master, that dvesh. Now somebody delivers my karma. He is a nimitta. Dada explains very well. I see him as a doer. Dada gives a famous example of pickpocket. We have yesterday also discussed, but we'll discuss again briefly here, that somebody picks up our pocket. We are riding in a bus, 50, 60 passengers. So out of 50, 60, only my pocket is picked up. So many others had money. This fellow does it. Right? So Dada says he is the nimitta. Nimitta, why? Only he decided to do this profession of picking up the pockets. That's all. That is his karma. But those who have wrongly earned money or past karmas, that a feeling will be triggered in this fellow. Yes, you pick up the pocket of Lalabhai. And the necessary circumstances, your proximity, everything will come. And the action will be done. He is a nimitta. Dada here explained, but if you understand this, you will not have dvesha, revenge for that. Right? This is very deeper implications. See, simply removing rag dvesh, if it would have been so simple, everybody would have done it.
Practically not possible.
Practically always remembered, this is the fellow who picked up my pocket. Why should, even if you forgive, Dada says, there is no question of forgiving because you are the culprit, you created this karma. He is merely a nimitta. So question of forgiving doesn't arise. You see, then if we have this kind of comprehensive understanding, we can have really rootless, or you can uproot rag dvesh. In true sense, this is how it functions. Otherwise, you'll have an ego of forgiving. Oh, I forgave you. Okay, although he picked up the pocket. Dada says, you are the culprit. Okay. And he is the nimit. So, nimit concept to understand, so wonderfully he has explained. And this can, everyone can understand if you look into it, the circumstances where wrong things have been done with you. You will find that you have gone in proper circumstances and that action has happened. Okay, everybody will have this experience of pickpocket. Everybody has lost something or other. And you can, if you think, when did you lose? Then we can realize. Once I traveled, okay, I had been to Hyderabad. Normally, when I go outside, I will use rickshaw. Right? Normally. Because I don't know, no? Which bus to ride, city bus, that. But that day I thought, let me ride a city bus. I am talking about 30 years old incident. There in Hyderabad in those days, the bus boards are only in Telugu, not even in English. Still, I asked some people that I want to go to Secunderabad. And I got the bus. And in that bus, my pocket was picked. Right? So, how this idea triggered in my mind to travel by bus only, which normally I don't do at all, I tell you. Then this concept of nimitta. That is why God, Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, nimitta matra bhavarduna. Right? You see, you get the links. Right? Then, so this is the seed. Seed it is, I did it. Seed is, he did it. Karomi, karosi, karoti. All these are the karmic seeds. Right? And when that seed is there, then the other things coming together, like time, moisture, temperature, everything coming together. Like this monsoon, seed has been sown. You have thrown jamun seed somewhere, and now it rains today. Okay, enough moisture is there, that will sprout. But if seed is not there, nothing will sprout. So here this comes. Okay. So the physical world operates as a flawless mechanism governed by Vyavasthit Shakti. Action is merely the manifestation of perfectly aligned variables, that is circumstances. So, like a seed falling. So, what is in our control? Seed, at seed level. Right? Then sprout. That is how Lord Krishna also in Bhagavad Gita says that at present you are nimitta, but this war seed was sown by you only. Right? That is how he says karmandeva adhikaraste. That is very famous sloka of Bhagavad Gita. Very differently explained by Dada Bhagwan. I was really amazed. This sloka is interpreted as a action and reaction, karma and karma phal. Dada says no. When you are doing X karma, definitely outcome is in your mind. You cannot say, right? Outcome you go to school, you go for learning. You go to job, you go for earning. The outcome is already there. The God, Dada says, Bhagwan is trying to tell us that karma means when you decided to do war with these people, that time your karma was sown. That was your karma. In the past, but sometime you decided to kill these fellows. Karma never. That time it was your authority to do that karma or not, decide or not, right? Of killing those people. Now it is the war is the outcome of your that past karma. There is no right now, is no adhikar. You can't undo this. That time you could undo. Till you are alive, you are planning, you could tear down and cancel it. So this is where he says, Ma phaleshu padatan, when fruit has already come, now you can't do anything. Right? And that way, it also satisfied this understanding given by Dada Bhagwan that God has never preached violence. People say God has preached violence, we should do war. No, Dada says he did in a particular case. He asked Arjun that this is your thing. He doesn't tell him, Lord Krishna doesn't tell the whole world to fight and pick up fight wherever possible. He is telling to Arjuna in particular circumstances that this is how your violent attitude of past birth has come into fruition nowadays. So you do that. He is not telling everyone of us to fight and kill people. Okay. He has never.
About duty.
Huh?
It is about own duty.
Because it has come as a duty now. Why? Because it has come? Because there was your thing. You decided to fight these people and kill them. Then by natural circumstances, as we discussed in past slides, nature has come together, everything, circumstances, war, this, that, and now you are on the role. Role of, that is a duty. Duty means role. Your role has come. Right. But why role has come? Because of your past decisions. Right. Dada further explain this. Suppose you decide at present something abating violence. Okay. Okay, we should have a. Okay, somebody says that we should throw bomb on Pakistan. That means you are enrolling yourself for the army. In some births, you will do that duty of bombing because you have enrolled now that this should be done. Who will do it? So that is where a person has the discretion and where he has no discretion. That God says you have no discretion now to stop the Mahabharata war. Okay. So Dada gives another example, explanation of Pratishthitam. This is his own terminology. We have translated into project itself. Okay, so he says there is a pure soul which is eternal, knower and seer only, Gyata Drashta, absolutely does nothing, it never sleeps. If soul sleeps, one will die. Without presence of soul, no breathing will take place and fellow will die. So what sleeps is not the soul. And this is the identity. But project itself, that is temporary actor, it suffers, engages in worldly interactions, requires rest, works on its own. So soul doesn't work. Say, I am speaking, I am not speaking. Your soul is not speaking. Right? So everything moves, all visible, invisible actions appearing to be from on the side from soul, they are actually from the side of projected self. Right? And it knows that I am so and so. Right? So liberation begins by separating knower from the known. Right? So temporary, that is projected self is temporary actor sufferer, birth to birth, given a name, engages in worldly interactions. Also it requires rest. It sleeps, right? But it sleeps, but still everything works inside because soul is presence. Soul is mere presence is required. And it considers itself, I am so and so. And I am so and so can never go away. Even if I become sannyasi, I have to be immediately given another name without a loss of time. Otherwise, fellow will become mad. You will never find anybody without a name in the world. Any sannyasi can say, I have no name. That is not, this is not possible. That only goes away when person gets self-realization and talent. Still also this has to continue for the worldly interactions. So, this is how which we have seen that Bhavaman, he calls a causal mind. Mind also, he says, there is a discharge mind and charge mind. Charge mind he calls Bhavaman, causal mind. And that level, the charging of karma takes place. Okay, he gives an example again. You eat something, nothing wrong, he says. It is a discharge of your punya karma, good eating. But if you think, oh, tomorrow also I should get this, correct or not? There, the Bhavaman is there, and the charging takes place. And there, if you are in a merit karma, you will get it. If you are pap karma, demerit karma, you will get something against it. And it will give you pain because you decided something, I should have this food, and you get something altogether different. Right? So that is how this concept of bhava karma also helps us. Right? So lingering taste, lingering desires, they are all bhava karmas. And there one can have the role. We'll go later on. Now this is entanglement with the matter. This has been discussed in Upanishads also, where two words, right? Two words concept. But here he explained in respect of Pudgal that as you see in the mirror, instantly there is a creation of your image. Right? You don't go for creating. Similarly, a soul, in the presence of matter, this concept of I automatically happens. Okay. So, because matter is so active in presence of, tomorrow we'll see that in session, that in the soul in presence of matter, that matter becomes activated. And Karun Dadaji explained it as a Pudgal live matter. It is not live, but enlivened matter, we can say, or charged matter. It looks like as if living. Okay, and then it identifies who else is there. It is I am. The sparrow looking in the mirror, all of us have seen, breaking its beak, okay, fighting against the sparrow in the mirror, Right? That's some other sparrow. Here this fellow feels, I am this. That is the difference between sparrow and this fellow has intelligence. So he thinks, oh, I am. Right? And then karma binding continues, starts like this. He gives another example. This is automatic. Nobody is doer. Because circumstantial thing, sparrow coming near the mirror and the reflection on its own arises like a piece of iron put under the moist environment. It gets rusted all of a sudden on its own, like that is the circumstances. So, this is a for doership of karma also. One is not the sole doer. That is also because of circumstances. Right? If it is too hot, you feel like having a cool breeze, like that. So, this is where the concept comes that all of you being philosophy student, you know, inflow of karma, bondage of karma, then manifestation of karma. In Jain philosophy, this has been explained very well. Dada, in his colloquial language, he also explained this, and shedding of karma. These are the continuous. But while shedding of karma, the fellow again claims to worship. And likes and dislikes, like is ragadvesha, attachment, abhorrence. And new karma goes on. Right? Again, karomi, karosi, karoti. If it is in respect of other fellow, he binds revenge karma and like that. Or attachment karma. Somebody does according to what he likes. Okay, he feels attached. So this is the cycle. So, three levels again. Now, intensity of karma. Although similar karma, and the people binding karma at inner core, but intensity differs from person to person. That is there. And there are three modes. First of all, let us see three modes of binding of karma is the doing. The doer is lesser responsible than somebody who makes him do. Somebody employs him to do. Remember. Right? Every gunda has his master. Master is the person. Okay?
Individual master.
He may be look innocent. Some politicians employing some gunda. Gunda bind lesser karmas than the employer. You see how Dada has explained this. Right? You can't get scot-free. Right? So getting done. Directing others to commit. Directing. Multiplying that multiply the entire. And you are responsible because you are directing not only one person, so many people. So all their combined things, karma, karmic responsibility, you are attracting upon yourself. So doing. That is how again I am prompted to say, that is how your attachment and aversion. You only feel resented to those who are doing it. Okay, but real doers are invisible. You are making them do, employing them to do. And level 3, approving. That is a scheme of, okay, approving, intellectual endorsement. And this is never seen. Okay, this is never seen. You justify it intellectually. that doing this is right. There should be violence. Oh, you establish some theory, remember. And you approve this, you rationalize it for so many people to commit wrong things. So that is the heaviest. Here also, there are two types of approval. Decoding of karma has been translated by Dr. Satyajit. I forgot to tell. So, we need it. So that is there are two types of approvals. Approvals, you have to just say yes, yes. Suppose your boss says, I did this. Okay, sir, fine. Let us do. Okay, sir. There, even without your saying no, that is being done. But there are approvals where without your saying yes, it will not be done. That is executive. I named it as executive approval. That is very, very heaviest karma. Without your order, this will not happen. Right? So here Dada says, healing with intellect. So that with this we will find. Right? So there are people say they are not committing any violence, purely vegetarian, going to temple every day, doing so many puja. But they make such schemes that they cheat the poor people through their intellect. Right? They put them in debt trap, charge usurious rates of interest, sucking that blood that way. They are purely vegetarian. Dada says they are committing heavy, most heavy karmas as compared to those butchers. So he says killing with intellect is dangerous than killing with a sword. Right? Again, this will also help us removing our attachment and aversion, raga, dvesh, by knowing the intricacies of this science. So now how one can come out of this? As we discussed, that body orientation, dehadhyas, can never go by oneself, one's own efforts. Can never go 100%. To some extent, you can adjust by repeated efforts. But total elimination can never go because it's a part of the scheme of the nature, let us say. The body will have, once one has a body, he will have this kind of sense that I am so and so. That Dada, this is another finding of him, that you need a live person, living enlightened being whose ego has gone. जिसका देहाध्यास totally गया है. That fellow, that enlightened being, if you meet him personally and his grace, this can go away. There is no other go. Today, Dada Bhagwan cannot remove your body orientation because he is not there. He himself told that I am there till you can come to me. If I am not there, you find somebody live person. Without that, it won't be visible. This is the system. Right? Sooner or later, one will have to understand this. Right? Because ego cannot be removed by you. Right? So long as I have the dehadhyas, I am Lalabhai, how can I remove my ego? By any amount of studies, any amount of scriptures. This is how it happens. But if I see somebody without ego, if he tells me something, which is called the power of speech, that effect, that is called Srutagnar. You are telling, no, Bhaskar? Listening, same word, like we were discussing yesterday. Yet the Bhagavad Gita Jnana, what is given by Lord Krishna to Arjuna, it was a Srut Jnana, direct 1-to-1. Same Jnana we studied 100 times. Still, the benefit what Arjuna got, we are not getting. It's the reality. Right? There's nothing wrong with Bhagavad Gita. Scheme is like
Not taking part.
the scheme is like that. You have to have it from the life enlightened being. Right? So that way he says, when he can, with his grace, this sense of I-ness, body orientation, can disappear with the right orientation. But at the same time, right orientation has to be given that I am the pure soul. That orientation with his grace visible, and when you continue in that orientation, that anchored belief, right belief, which we call samyak jnana, right? Thereafter, the new karma stops charging. But yet, old karmas will continue. But when the new karma has stopped charging, it has the beginning of Jivan Mukti. That you have stopped earning new karmic loads. The old will come on for some time, whatever this time, like Lord Krishna, although he was enlightened being. Right? The karmic forces continue, but still he says, मेरे कर्म दिव्य है. God has said ना, अब दिव्य है वो तो war में है. Still he says, मेरे कर्म दिव्य है. My karmas are divine. Why? Because he is not accruing new karma while performing old karmas. So all his actions do not result in whatever good or bad in your worldly opinion. They do not bind him new karmas. That is why they are called divine. Right? So this is how Dada has explained. So he explained to way at the time of when he met this enlightened being, then still your frozen karmas continues, which have been ingrained in the body. Other karmas, Lord Krishna also said, your karma I will eliminate, annihilate karmas. But which karmas? Which are in the form of vapor and water. The softer karmas, which have been ingrained in your body for this lifetime, they you have to undergo. This is one thing, and that is why all enlightened beings, sometimes people are mistaken in recognizing. Like Lord Krishna, I don't think more than 100 persons in his lifetime would have recognized him as a God. Because outside karmas were there, people judge them through the outside karmas. Right? And always, all enlightened beings, Buddha, Mahavir, anybody, Lord Krishna, they will remain with that external karmas. And if you decide them based upon that, you are likely to get mistaken. Right? And especially Jivan Mukta and those who are not sannyasi and still enlightened being like Dada Bhagwan, rarely people will be able to recognize them. Lord Krishna. Right? So, this is how it takes place, that after the self-realization, through the grace of enlightened being, that your sense of identity resides as a pure self. And then the external karmas will continue. That pipeline we can call. But no new karmas will be found, so that continual exhaustion of karma will continue, and the soul become lighter and lighter and lighter and uplifted. And that is called nirvikalpa state. Nirvikalpa samadhi. Vikalpa, Dada says, vikalpa is a body orientation. That is the true vikalpa. Who means that is the vikalpa. I am Lalabhai is the vikalpa. Right? I am action as Saraswati Swami Falana. That is a vikalpa. I am the pure soul in real sense. That is a nirvikalpa. And then the binding of karma stops. Right. So when the illusion of the actor is shattered, the cosmic physics engine exhausts itself. Time, matter, circumstances lose their grip. Knower and the known are permanently separated. Then Gyata Drashta stage comes. So, in different example, we explain this shooting and screening. Your binding of karma is like shooting. A film is shot. Right? Your subtle intents and beliefs are recorded. The film of your current life, the script is already written. Now what is happening in current life is a screening of the film for you as well as everyone. Right? Everything from birth to death is merely the projection of past. Right? So when an unpleasant scene appears on screen, crying out, cut this film, it will not happen. Right? It's for you as well as everyone. Right? So just Vyata Drashta, that is the only way. We have to see without ownership as well as any attachment or aversion. Okay. So this is how he advises. And this we have discussed earlier, that society punishes gross physical violence, but the cosmos heavily penalizes subtle intellectual violence, which we call Raudra Dhyana. Thinking about harming others, deceiving others, stealing things from others. That is the very tough karma. Right? This we have discussed earlier. So, the karma is not exhausted by physical efforts, even suffering, force austerity, because you will continue to see others as doers and yourself as doers. So we will continue to bind new and new karmas. But only Gyata Drashta, that is the stage where the karma are exhausted in true sense without leaving a residue. Right? And when something exhausts without leaving a residue, then only it is rightfully called a nirjara. That is the true exhaustion. Right? If you bind, then discharges, what is the use? Okay, that is called, they have named it as a calm nirjara. Okay, it is not useful in your upliftment because simultaneously you charge new karmas, right? And that is called samkam nirjara, which is fruitful because you discharge the karma without binding new karma. So, we have seen this bhav karma is this seed. And who knows the bhav? Only the fellow concerned. What we have to? We have to watch our own bhav, what is happening. So, that pencil and rubber system will come into later. So, with this bhava karma, the dravya karma, that is the stock of karma. Karmic material is attracted and they result into 8 types of different karmas that we are now coming to the classification of karma now. Right? Do dravya karma. And do dravya karma, they are called like spectacles. Spectacles on Jivatma. he will see the world according to the karmic layers. Right, Bhaskar? That Dravya Karma. So everybody sees this world differently because of Dravya Karma. Right? And the no karma is the outcome. Dravya Karma is the drishti. Maybe distorted, colorful, okay, tainted by karmic veils. No karma is the outcome. Neutral dishta, that is visible activities are no karma. We have seen this in last previous example, but now we are coming very systematically, he has explained. So, if visible actions are not coupled with attachment and resentment, they bind no karmas. Right? So here the role of knowledge comes, understanding comes. They are no karma. No karma is negligible, neutral karma. They are simply actions. Right? Like a drama. In a drama, somebody plays the role of a Ravana. He doesn't bind any karma. He knows that I am not Ravana. No? Like that. So this is the beauty of the knower-seer state. Right? Which comes after self-realization. But to an extent, by Vedantic practice, it can reach toward the drashtabhava. So to that extent, a person can remain in whatever degree in a drashtabhava, the binding of karma weakens. Intensity also. So it is not, people are not helpless that way. So our great seers have found out various means and ways, okay, how to not get trapped in this karmic cycle, okay, too much. So, these are the things. Now let us see types of karmas. This you will have in textbooks also, then philosophy also you must have studied. So we'll quickly go through. But the examples will be very helpful in understanding. So they are categorized in broad two categories. Ghati karma, that which obscures these infinite powers of soul. They create veils over the soul. Soul, as you know, all souls are godly. There is no technical difference between the Lord Krishna's soul and our soul. The difference is of these veils.
Actually, soul is part of the Atma.
Yes. Right? It's the will, Atma. Actually, soul is not the right word, but we don't have other word in the, as Bhaskar says in English. But Atma is Atma. Let us use Atma. Okay? Now onwards we will use word Atma. Right? I am very happy. Right? Soul, spirit, they are halfway truths. Okay? And when the concept, where there is no concept, there is no word. Correct or not? That is why there is no word in that language. Right? So, but they will adopt gradually, they are also adopting. No? So Atma, soul obscurings, they bridging two categories. So four types of karmas are soul obscuring, that is creating veils over Atma. Four are only affecting the body, bodily karmas. Okay. This is so very interesting, I tell you. Very interesting. This I like it very much and very nicely explained, Dadaji. So the will soul's innate powers. Because what comes out is through the veils. Must be completely destroyed to attain absolute knowledge. We call it Keval Gyan. Right? All these first four, if they are eliminated, totally annihilated, that is Keval Gyan. Okay. So for enlightened being, this is where they stand. And where we stand, we also know. Now bodily, different people have different bodies. Right? Different people have different bodily experience. Different people have different body shape, size, type, beauty, so sound, everything different, you see. Lifespan, right? These are all aghati karmas. And they cannot be destroyed, even if you get enlightenment. Okay. They remain lifelong. Right? What is destroyed on enlightenment are those veils, all obscuring. But these remain the same. Like Ashtavakra Muni, great Atman. Although enlightened, he will remain as Ashtavakra. Right? That is what he was very well aware. He said, what do you see? He asked to Janaka, no, don't see my body. No. So, cannot be destroyed. Must be exhausted through physical discharge. You have to undergo. That is why enlightened beings, okay, they have to undergo this. So different enlightened beings have different aghati karma, because bodily related. You cannot simplify this. Nam karma, gotra karma, vedaniya karma, ayushya karma. These are four karmas. We will see one by one. This is knowledge obscuring. First, jnana avaraniya karma. Right? And you know this. Different people have different level, different capacity to understand, comprehend especially. That is because of this. Okay. And how does it now? Where is our domain? What can we do about it? Let us see this also, because in science, it should be with a remedy. Simply knowing has no little meaning. So how it is bound? If we know, then we'll not bind further jnana avaraniya karma. He says being inattentive during teachings. Like suppose this time this is a very nice topic and we are dozing. That binds the jnana avaraniya karma. Right? That is, you are paying no attention. Don't want to pay also sometimes. Or arrogantly telling someone you can't understand, discount somebody. Okay. These are many examples. Jnana avaraniya karma. Okay. The criticizing the knowledgeable people. Okay. Beating them, destroying the good books. So many things are there. Right? That's the jnana avaraniya karma. All your senses also. Both there are jnanendriya, karmendriya. All your jnanendriya through which you get to know, they also get blunted gradually. If too much, then a fellow may become blind. See, he has eyes, but he cannot see. He has ears, he cannot listen. He has nose, he doesn't smell. Right or not? These are the things. So, Dada says, even if you get self-realization, still echoes of jnana avaraniya karma continue for some time to subside and remove. Right? And through his precepts, his guidelines, that is where Guru Agya is important. He is obeying instruction, gradually that goes away. But what we can take care is do not find further ways for Jnana. Don't become a party to it. Don't do ourselves, don't get it done, or don't support where this is being done. Right? Three, we have seen. We are going very systematically, please remember. So, knowledge, knowing the exact how to run a business. Even not spiritual. Day-to-day routine matters also, people don't know how to do it. The businessman doesn't know how to run a shop. That is also kind of Jnana Varani. Okay, that is a skills, day-to-day skills. There also. That is insight. Insight is also, what differs from person to person? It is insight. If you ask me, the people in the worldly progression, worldly, difference is of only insights. Inside an IS officer is a BA pass. Clerk is also BA. What is the difference? Insight. See? That Jnana Varaniya, local. So that is how, intuition. Without it, a person remains perpetually entangled, taking so much time. You will see some lady takes only 20 minutes to cook. Somebody takes 2 hours. Okay, that's the insight. And that helps one. Okay, stumbling blindly into life's obstacle, not finding a solution so far. Some people are able to take very clear decisions very quickly. Right? All this is where the Jnana Varaniya and Darshana Varaniya. Darshan is a soul, yes. Now we have come to Darshan. Darshan means perception. Perceiving clearly, perceiving quickly. Everything comes into Darshana Varaniya. So, the fundamental wrong belief for this, the fundamental Darshana Varaniya is a wrong belief. That is the Dehadhyas. It doesn't go. Okay. An inverted bandage cause all human collisions. So the wrong perception, that is the cause for all conflicts. Right? So that is where the perception, their darshan avarani is there. So darshan means the understanding in general. Knowledge means understanding in detail, percent, clear understanding. This way. So Jnana Varaniya, Darshana, it starts with the Darshana Varaniya. Darshan. Knowledge starts with the perception. First you perceive. And then you know exactly that is the knowledge. Then Mohaniya. Mohaniya, it is kind of intoxication. Now everybody is not a drunkard, but you will find people are getting disillusioned or illusioned through certain things. That is nothing but a, you go for instant shopping, this, that, you buy this, that, that's all kind of more. And that is the Mohaniya karma, self-intoxication. The biggest Mohaniya karma is I am so and so, they are theirs. Right? And that is the root cause of all Mohaniya. And that doesn't go without a living a pattern. Big first root. Other moha is like that. So that self difference, I am so and so, belief, attachment, pride, anger, all these are manifestations of Mohaniya karma. Right? As with somebody drinks and he forgets the worldly identity also. So forget about the soul identity or a Atma identity. So there are 2 types of, this is another wonderful understanding, moha. One is a discharge moha, another is a charitra moha. Charitra moha is a moha in action, in behavior. And one is a moha in the understanding. So darshan moha, I am so and so, is the root darshan moha. And as we discussed it, removal of that is known as self-realization through a light and being. But still, after self-realization, charitrama continues. That means which is ingrained in your body. Like bodily habits, eating habit, is that style of sleep. That will continue. It will go slightly. What matters is your darshan. Then antaraya karma. Basic antaraya karma is not knowing the full potential of your Atma. Atma has full potential, as good as God Himself. Why it is not manifesting? Because of antaraya karma. So cursing oneself creates a biggest antaraya. Dada says you should never say, I will not be able to do this. I will not understand. Never say this. It creates antaraya for you. You say, I will learn. I will do this. I will read. Don't say, I cannot do this. Because you are decertifying yourself, creating a veil over your own capabilities. Antaraya karma. This is the difference between enlightened beings and ordinary people. Their spiritual effort is so strong, no? So they are not hampered by different circumstances. Any kind of problems come. We have seen Kanu Dadaji. Any type of situation come. They have broken those antaraya. Yes. And that we said, okay. Then there are various stages of antaraya. You obstruct somebody. First is obstructing yourself. Denying your own potential as a Atma. That is the basic antaraya. And general antaraya are interfering others, getting something good. You are obstructing, no? Suppose I am teaching now, and you start shouting. That is, you have created obstruction for others. And that binds the antaraya karma for you. So when you will speak somewhere, somebody will shout. Somebody will not listen. Right? If I am giving something to some beggars, you say, why, sir, why are you giving? This fellow will swell out. You are intervened. You have created an obstruction for a fellow who was getting benefited. So you will never get that help. So these are so many antaraya karma I found while we are compiling this book. We are unnecessarily creating so many obstructions for ourselves, unnecessarily. That we should never do. Right? So those antaraya karma are very much. Otherwise, the Atma has a potential that whatever desire comes, it will come. But why we are not getting? Because of antaraya. We have put obstructions in others. Okay? Like that. So, then criticizing some good things, then you will not be able to do. Somebody donates. Right? Anil Ambani donates to big hospital. What is there? He has so much of money. Why should you say? You have done good things. That is, we should admire rather than we criticize good things. No? That creates an antaraya. So many types of antaraya, especially in food, medicines, even respect. Some people getting respect and you put an obstruction. So you will not get respect. Right? So wherever, this is a wonderful subject. We have published a full book here on antaraya karma. But worth knowing through artificial intelligence. It is in Gujarati. Through AI, you will be able to translate it. So many examples of antaraya karma have been given. Right? And I can give you many examples from my own life. You can also find it. Wherever you are not getting something reasonable, that is antaraya. Okay. Say, I'm a diabetic fellow. Why? There is antaraya. I admit in this meeting, I have put obstruction in somebody getting good food. Correct? Somebody was distributing sweets. I said, why do you spend so much of money? I got diabetes. See? Very simple. Okay, the karma doesn't favor you. You have to go. Now I understood. I never do it. On the contrary, I distribute sweets. Okay. That is how, based upon your own life experiences, you can know what type of antaraj you have. And for that, you can do the pratikraman, etc., and you can come out of it for future obstructions. So, like that, okay. Say somebody sends his parents to the old age home. He is creating antaraj for parents. Next birth, he will become an orphan. He doesn't need parents. Very simple. Right? So this way, antaraj karma is very, very important to know, and it is very helpful, I think. Obstruction we create for others return to us. No, God is interested in creating problems for you. God will never create hurdles. Why he should create hurdles? Dada says, spoken obstructions bear fruit in this life. If you speak out right now, you will not, the result will be this very life. And unspoken obstructions, you feel like that he should not have donated. Don't speak. It will give fruit in next life. Right? So, the firm determination. So, firm determination and heartfelt repentance. Well, once we know, then only we can remedy. No? Say like you are disrespecting your teachers. Jnana Avaran karma comes. The biggest Jnana Avaran karma is a disrespecting your teachers. Right? Some people give nicknames to teachers, funny nicknames, you know. That is a Jnana Avaran. You will not get good teachers. Even if you get good teachers, you won't be able to grasp what MISHRA Sahib is teaching you. This is how, right? What he can do. Then Vedaniya karma, which gives you pleasure and pains. Right? So, that is also a kind of karma. Okay, that is a bodily karma. Right? And here wonderful thing is, they have divided into two, Sata Vedaniya, Asata Vedaniya. Sata means a pleasurable pain. Bhaskar, this is something strange. How pleasurable pain can be? We understand the other pain. Pain which gives you pain. That is understandable. But this you see, enlightened being, they are so subtle, they have so subtle clarity about that Sata Vedaniya, pleasurable pain. The pleasures you get, sensual pleasures, they are a kind of pains, they say. You call them pleasures, but actually they are pains. Why? Because, example, if you are feeling hot, then only you like AC. Suppose you have fever, same AC will not give you. So any source of pleasure should give pleasure to everyone every time, in every aspect. It is not so. Ice cream gives you pleasure. The same ice cream gives me pain. I am a diabetic. So all our pleasures are actually Sata Vedaniya, he says. Your assumed pleasures in the background of pain. Unless you have a pain, you will not have that desire. It's somewhat, but this can be understood. Right? Because if you have hunger, that is a pain. Then you feel like eating. Right? So this is where pain and pleasures are there. That is an enlightened being. They don't suffer both. But for ordinary people, this is okay. Then there is another karma. Now we have come to bodily karma. So that is first we have seen Sata Vedniya, Asata Vedniya. Nam karma. So Sata Asata, because the enlightened being understand that they don't feel pleasure or pain either. Even if he is a king, he doesn't feel pleasure in being a king. They live in palace, don't feel like that. Nam karma, all bodily related karmas come into Nam karma, not only name. Body related, everything. So people differ, body differ from person to person. All body related things, you say your digestive power, kind of your hairs, kind of your look, kind of your tone, voice, anything, personality we call it generally. All is a Nam karma. That is a result of karmic things. And again, nature comes. So all design, people are different from each other. So many people, 8 billion, no replication outside. Inner strength of your bones, all are part of Nam karma. So many, so we are not discussing here, but everything you can say, anything related to body is a Nam karma. Getting me? Inside as well as outside. But the beauty is because of Dehadhyas and karmic layer, everybody likes his own body. That is a good thing. Otherwise the fellow will. But you should not have any resentment on account of Nam karma of anybody. And neither have a sense of excessive pride. Right? So, then Adeya Nam karma. Dada explained this. The respect, acceptability. People, if you are welcomed, that is also kind of Nam karma. You have done something good, so you are welcomed everywhere. And if you have not done something good, Anadeya Nam karma, you are unwelcome. Or whatever good you think, do. That fellow has done nothing good, still he is welcome. And Anadeya is not welcome, unwelcome. Then Yash and Apayash, you get fame without any effort. Without any effort, you get fame. And without doing anything wrong, you get disreputation. These are also Nam karma kind of things. But that means you have done something good. Say you are getting respect in this time without doing anything bad, but you have done something good in past birth. That way it is not a reason without reason. But immediately you will not find. Some people don't get credit for good things. No? Some people get good, with little thing they will get good things. That is all karma. Okay? Ade, anade, very well, and this can be observed and understood very well. This is a very interesting subject. So, ultimately, all this karma, to the extent of one remains jnata drashta or drashta, they do not result into new karmic bondage. Right? And absence of raga, dvesha. When we understand how the science of karma helps us. Right? Then there are another karma called Gotra karma. Gotra karma is a starting point. You take birth in a reputed family. Without doing anything, this birth, you get a reputation from the beginning. But there is a Gotra karma. or lower Gotra karma. Without doing anything bad, still people don't respect you. That's the lower Gotra karma. But how does it bind? So Dada explained that when you are feel resentment for the other people, you bind a lower Gotra karma. Because of your Gotra, you say all others are bad, lower than me. You bind a lower Gotra karma and you will again suffer the same thing. Right? So whatever your Gotra, don't feel, Dada says, no inferiority, no superiority either. Then only you can come out of that. Right? After effects of that Gotra karma, right? So ultimately it comes to suffer and lower. Then Gnata Drashta Bhava helps one from coming out of that. So the soul is geared out by this kind of 8 karmas, body related, soul related. Soul wills. Those wills, if we understand and we know how they are bound and how they are, one can come out of this. Right? So now we have understood 2 karmas. First is a bhava karma. We started with this. Right? That is the seed. And because of that seed, different 8 types of karmas are bound around the soul. And when they come into fruiting stage, outcome stage, that is a no karma. Right? So I am speaking, that is a no karma. You are listening, that is a no karma. Why? Because in past birth you had an intention of listening good knowledge. It has come into fruition today. All necessary circumstances have gathered. Bhaskar is physically able to come from Bangladesh. You see. Who helps that? That is the nature, scientific circumstantial evidences. And it happens, and we are here. All that is, okay, what is visible, all that is a no karma. When it is undergone through proper anchoring within, understanding, without any resentment or abhorrence, then it goes away, just without binding any new karma. But suppose Rakhi says, this is so boring. No? Then new karma starts. If you just go on with a neutral gear, Dadaji explains this as a neutral gear. Right? In every car or scooter, there is a neutral gear. If you keep it in neutral gear, no karma goes on its own go away. Without binding, no karma. Right? So these are 3 stages. I think it has. Please help me something, somebody. This is. Yes. Yes. So no karma is this exhaustion part. Right? Now, how does this understanding help us? Right? So by looking to the no karma of yourself or others, you will not have any rag or dvesh, attachment or aversion. Right? This is how they are interconnected, you see. Right? Interplay of these 3 karmas. Your role is at Bhava Karma. Dravya Karma are whales. You have different whales. Everybody around have different whales. So they see the world differently. So there are clashes. That is why you have to adjust. The fellow see this like a blind man and elephant. Very famous example. Because of Dravya Karma, they see elephant in a different way. And if you fight endlessly, what happens? New aversions, attachments, right? That is where Dada Bhagwan's theory of adjustment comes. You have to adjust, there is no go, right? That is where Anekant comes, Shadvat comes. So many things are connected, right? These are the realities. Different people have different dravya karmas, different veils, different bodily karmas. Okay. So vav karma, no karma, neutral is discharge, right? But in ignorance, no karma, a fellow will claim doership. And that is why he'll charge new birth. If doesn't claim doership, forgives himself or others for visible karma. That is how, again, Lord Krishna told Arjun, Bhagavad Gita, all they are dead people, he says. He says, no? Dead means they are all just not doers right now. Right? Huh, Bhaskar? They are all dead, he says. I see them as dead people. No? So they are simply functioning like robotics. Right? So, nimitta matra bhavarjuna. No? So one must understand how these three interact. So, ultimately you can say the thing lies in a false identification. Sankhya Yoga has explained. Mishra Sahib also explained me about Sankhya Yoga, that proximity and all these things, no? Then this Rag comes into effect. And this is how the glitch, I am so and so, and those spectacles and everything takes place, and new bondage comes. So, now the intensity of binding the karmas depends upon, now you see, we have seen these three karmas, but intensity and the duration, two things, depends upon the intensity of your anger, pride, deceit, and greed. The same bhav, same intent, bhav karma we have seen now. But with what intensity it has occurred. That intensity will become a multiplying factor for the karmas. Right? The weaker the intensity, weaker the karma binding. Same bhav, but intensity, too much of anger, too much of pride, too much of deceit, too much of greed. That multiplication factor only you know. Right? Then pratikraman, that is repentance, works as a dividing factor. So, this is how it helps. So, in the scripture this is mentioned, but we'll again see there are 4 types of karmas. One is the anantanabandhi, binding of karma. Okay. We can call it bhav karma, which are binding stage. They are like carving in a stone. You will have to undergo the results. They will last for long. Okay. So cause infinite lifetime sometimes. Not sufficient to suffer through only one life. And wondering. Then you have to then apratyakhya. Okay, lines in clay, like in a soil, you have to draw the line. So they are Okay, they may remain up to say 6 months or so. Just example. So the karmas are also different. Then pratyaka, and they lie in sand. So lightly sometimes go. So line in water, sanjvala. Okay, in the water you'll draw a line immediately. So depends when we are say all of us are living people, we are undergoing the karmas. But we can understand what kind of karma we have. Okay. To what duration it remains. Right? So that is how the role of anger, pride, deceit, greed comes. It is not only karma, but you have to deal with not only the doership, but also with this anger, pride, deceit, and greed. And the anger, pride, deceit, and greed are a reason for, because of ultimately, if you go into details, these four are basically a raga dvesh. Rag results into pride. Right? I am so and so. Right? And hampering of pride by external factors results into anger. When your pride is not nourished or is attacked, or you assume it has been attacked, then anger comes. Right? Similarly, so that is a dvesh. Dada says pride is a kind of dvesh, not raga. It was my mistake to tell you. Pride is a dvesh because you consider yourself better than others. You consider others inferior to you. That is a dvesh. Right? The pride is a manifestation of dvesh. Right? And anger is a this way, anger. Okay, you are hampering, somebody hampers your pride. You feel angry. Then God has, again in Bhagavad Gita, Krodha Bhavati, something, I don't remember the shloka. You know? Some more. Pura vicious cycle is explained. Sammoha, Spruti, Brahma. Right? And attachment. Now, because attachment is only physical. In the mundane things, no? You assume that there is happiness lying in this. But there you don't stop. You have desire for more and more. So attachment leads to greed. And greed has no end. So to increase your gratification, you resort to deceit. So basically there are rag dvesh only.
Yes.
And deceit and anger are the protectors, guards of greed. Guard of greed is a deceit. Guard of pride is anger.
Yes.
Get it? And these are the multiplying factors for intensity and duration of karma. Right? This is wonderfully explained by him. We'll find this in some scriptures also. So this is how we are now coming to the summary. We are coming to end of the session. So Gati karma, Agati karma. This we have seen, which obstructs the powers of soul, Gati karma, powers of body, if you can say, Agati karma. But no, you have to suffer. Bodily suffering, all bodily suffering. Right? No karma, all external actions are no karma. But if you won't and apply your anger, deceit, etc., they result into karma again. Otherwise, they simply go away. So, this is, we already discussed in the beginning, gross portion is very small, hidden portion is too much. This is how the world and the operation of karma takes place, right? So liberation is impossible if you only prune the visible branches without paying attention to the roots which are hidden and secretly watering the roots. You nourish your anger, pride, this, that, to worship. So any amount of external actions like taking sannyasa, this, that also will not uproot. Okay, that is what. So, dravya karma, new dravya karma we create. It's a cycle, illusion of doership, bhava karma, the new karma again continues. And one cannot come out of this so easily. But if we try to understand the teachings of Dadaji, somebody is trying to enter. Then, please continue. So, thoughts, mind, physical action, discharging no karma. So, there is projected self, pure self. Now we have understood this. And enlightened being can, with his grace, keep the line of demarcation, that the boundary we can understand here. Yes. So this is that is how Lord Krishna says, Nishkam Karma. This question was asked to Dadaji. Dadaji says, it's a good way. Lord Krishna has explained Nishkam Karma. But really speaking, one cannot become Nishkam till he has a body orientation.
Practically not possible.
Right. But because it results into the lower intensity of binding. That is why he says low. That is good.
Degree of intensity.
And second, intensity comes down. It has the effect, no doubt. But total nishkam is not possible till self-realization. But till then, this is a good way God has shown that you, secondly, he wants to, he explains that the outcome of karma is not only this, your own effort. Nature is also involved. If you perform your karmas or do your duties, but the outcome will be according to the convenience and rules and regulations of the nature. Okay, this way Nishkam karma, he says it doesn't bring disappointment. And secondly, he says you focus on the level of efforts, not on the outcome. Suppose, Dadaji explains this further, that while you are preparing for exam, don't think too much about how much marks you want. Think about preparations. So focus all your energies on the preparations. And once given the exam, forget about it because that has gone now. So Mahapaleshu Kadada. Okay. That is somebody else. Okay, that when result will come, how much it will come, who will be the examiner, nobody asks you. Tumhara paper kisko dena hai? Have you a choice? You write, my paper should be examined by so and so professor. That is not your lookout. There you become Nishkam. Okay. So, in your role, you have to take care that much. You can refer the book. Then there are Dharma Dhyan, that is your inner contemplations. Okay, these are also helping in your karma, kind of karma binding. Right? Like we have taken this example, let's say that hunter repenting, the Dharma Dhyan. Okay, like that. Right? Then following the Agna of enlightened being is also a Dharma Dhyan. Agna of Guru dharmaja. It prevents you from binding more and more karma. Then suffering without blaming others. Pastor, you are suffering, but you blame. Like say, my pocket has been picked up, but I blame the pickpocket. If I suffer it without blaming, accepting that it was the outcome of our karma, it is also a dharma dhyan. It helps you not binding the karmas. Right? Apaya vichaya it is called. Then vipa, that whatever is it, my karma. Okay. Yes, vipak, that is vipak vichaya. Understanding that it is my karma. Apaya vichaya means without getting this four passions, anger, pride, etc. That is a apaya vichaya. Vipak means understanding that I am suffering my own karma without blaming others. Vipak vichaya. And sansthan vichaya is the grasping the ultimate mechanics of the world, universe. Like Dada explained us, the Vyavasthit Shakti, how this world operates. That also results into lowering the intensity of karma. Right? So he says, settle all your karmic accounts with equanimity. Don't blame the instruments. So where is your Purushartha lies? Your Purushartha, all your external things are outcome of karma, but Purushartha lies in understanding your intent. Focusing on your intent, okay, whatever is happening outside the part of Prarabdha, but the intent is a Purushartha. That is a true Purushartha. There the free will lies. External thing, free will has no scope. Right? Internal new charging, that's the Purushartha. That is what Dada says. And that is they are fully independent. And this knowledge helps us in equanimity. Merely by saying that remain equanimous, it is not so possible without having the proper foundation of a belief or knowledge. So he gives very famous example. At midnight, some guests come and knocks your door at 11 o'clock. What do? You will open the door. When you see there are 5, 6 people at night 11 o'clock, they have come. First of all, what do you say? Welcome, welcome, you'll say. You're an Indian guy. But inside you feel that these fellow fools, is this the time to come? They should have phoned me. No? So that whatever happens inside, Dada says, it is their Purushartha. And Prarabdhis, they have come, it is a Prarabdha. Because sometime in the past you invited them. Please come to my home anytime. My house is open. Now that karma has manifested after so many years or maybe past birth or this birth. They have come. Now you say, why these people have come? So the new Purushartha has taken place. So if you accept the outward happening outside without reacting negatively from within, that is a Purushartha. Reacting negatively is a negative Purushartha. Reacting neutrally or positively is a positive Purushartha. If you say, yes, welcome, what can I do for you? Khana hai, bana dete chalo. They already come. Ab raat 11 baje, 11 o'clock, they are not going to hotel and go food. And you cannot tell them. They are Indian sanskar hai hamara, right? But if you again receive them well, you bind punya karma. Right? So this is where a Purushartha lies. So this is how. But whenever you fail, Dada says, failing, like suppose they have come, you feel like why these fools have come this time. That it happens, but you say, as a watchful person, you repent for it. You ask apology of your own soul. Soul itself is a God. Oh Bhagwan, oh Shuddhatma Bhagwan. Or if you believe in Lord Krishna, oh Lord Krishna, it was my mistake to have this kind of aversion for the guests, then that is your portion. Sleeping, it may happen naturally by way of current times and circumstances, because you are feeling sleepy and somebody came. It may happen. But what is your Purushartha? Is your resolve, new resolve, and erasing the past karmic effects. That is how. So effort can, I such a thing that it can only happen after true Purushartha, only after that. But before that also, proper understanding helps us to weaken the bondage of karma. Right? So, before self-realization, it is called Brahman Purushartha, but that is also helpful. That is also helpful. That is where sanskar helps, knowledge helps, satsang helps, studies helps, where your karma binding can be weaker. Right? Don't bind intense karmas. So this is how we have discussed. So where free will is there, here your resolution is a free will. Understanding the operation of Vyavasthit Shakti, natural order, also helps us in resolving, because we will not fight with which is inevitable. This is beyond our control. Then only equanimity will be possible. Equanimity, we speak number of times, but it is not so. It requires so many factors to be understood in a proper way. Right? So that is the case. And this we are finishing the domains of. I have taken 4 minutes more. All this interplay of karma, taras, importance of enlightened beings, all these things we have tried to cover, right? And come now, announce. What is the next announcement?
Yes, session.
Thank you, sir, for such an elaborated session on karma theory, and many of our concepts are entirely clear. And now that we have a printed book and further text available, we'll be surely looking into that. So this is the end for the first half of today's seminar, and we'll meet again at 3 o'clock. 3:30. 3:30. So we'll meet again.
Cypriya,
Sir.
hello.
Yes, sir.
I hope, thanks Lalabhai, it was a very clear presentation, very analytical, and very lucid and accurate illustrations. I must say that, I don't think anybody can give such a presentation as Lalabhai did. And, you can see through how much of philosophy that has gone in building the thinking, thoughts of Dada Bhagwan, starting from Jaina karma to Vedanta, providence, again karma, starting from Jaina to Vedanta, in and through, Jnana Varaniya, Darsana Varaniya, all these things he has given a brilliant presentation of the whole thing. I only wish that our students should get imbibed by the spirit of the lecture that Lalabhai presented. And you can see that how, as I told, the whole purpose is to make a person realize his potential and remain as a part of society as a meaningful manner. And when you see all these things toward the end, he was telling, I was relating it, Cypriya, with the Pancha Mahayajna that we have been working on. Thank you, Lalabhai, and it was a great pleasure, occasion to listen to you with such detailed analysis of theory of karma. Thanks. Namaste.
Thank you. And Sri YOGESHBHAI Shukla sir has to say something. YOGESHBHAI, please unmute yourself and you can share, please.
So I'm very much enlightened, and during the 30 years of my affiliation with Dada Bhagwan, I never listened such type of Dada Bhagwan's wisdom, put it into a language. I thanks Chandrakant Bhai, Lalabhai, my salute to all of you, all the students. You are a very lucky person to have this encyclopedia of Dada Bhagwan in a 2.5 hours. And I am obliged to have a connection with you. So please continue this effort, Chandrakant Bhai, Godabarish Mishra Sahab, and students who will carry the light of Dada Bhagwan to the world, and when and where they will go, I think that will be very fruitful for their life, and that will enlighten yours. And I would have to listen sometime Chandrakant Srivastav for 5 to 10 minutes for his comments.
No.
You have to speak something.
We are really very, very blessed. And when there is a session of Honorable Sri Lalabhai Patel Sahib, one is taken to enormous depth. While listening, he just goes deep and deeper in the past and all the unsolved mysteries, all the unanswered questions in his life, he gets answer in it. So one such answer today I have, while he was talking about the types of karma, anantanubandhi, apratyakhyanaya, pratyakhyaniya, and sanjwalan. That really struck me, my God. So whenever we sometimes do resolution, we find ourselves that I cannot do. I resolve all the time. So it is pratyakhyaniya and pratikraman, as he mentioned. My goodness. So in Lalabhai sessions, you have a discussion of problems elaboratively and very effective and result-oriented solution. For the first time, there was such a huge depth, deep diving in the topic of karma. That is why the book, the title is Decoding the Science of Karma. Okay, thank you very much, Lala sir. Thank you very much, Yogesh Bhai. We are really very, very delighted to see you. And our next session will be at 3:30. The Zoom link is the same. And we have also live on YouTube. Okay. So many of my friends have joined on YouTube. I really appreciate. Thank you very much.
Please preserve this lecture for
Yeah,
our archives.
it is being recorded. Yeah.
Record and archives. This is one of the best lecture that
Yeah.
give the Dada's knowledge to the practical people, and that is the need of the hour. Exact the definition of karma.
Yes, yes.
So that is never you will get found in any literature. So please keep it
Yes, sir.
in your record.
It is permanent with us now, permanent record, and it will keep guiding all the coming generations. So we are thankful to technology for that. Okay. So our next session will be at 3:30. Dr. Satyajit Karita sir will take that session. Okay. So please be back. The Zoom link is the same, and you can join us on YouTube channel of Holistic Science Surat. It is also live there. Thank you very much for being there. Do come back. Have a good time. Jai Sat Chit Ananda. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.